All right, key terms 2.3. This is a long one, but again, a lot of this information I went over when I reviewed the 2.1 lecture. So definitely refer to your 2.1 lecture for extra info for this, as well as the Chemical Mind video that I keep referring to, the Crash Course Chemical Mind video, which will be helpful for these key terms. So this one is all about the nervous system. Okay, so the central and the peripheral nervous system are parts of the nervous system, of course. So you are going to be responsible for understanding the diagram that is laid out in 2.1. So you need to label all of those and then also put in the function in parentheses. There will be a word bank, of course, but we'll start with the central nervous system. So if you look at that nervous system diagram, you'll see the central nervous system. That's the one that just has the one box, okay? This is the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain and the spinal cord are, one of the bosses of our body and brain, okay? So the nervous system is one boss, and then the endocrine system, which I'll get to in a little bit, down there is the other boss. So within the nervous system are these four first key terms here: central, peripheral, somatic, and autonomic nervous system. That's all part of the nervous system. So essentially, these two bosses regulate everything in our body. Okay, so the nervous system, which includes, again, these first four, is very quick. Okay, so what actually has been used is this is like sending a text message. If you want something to happen, your nervous system is going to do it very quickly. If you compare that to your endocrine system, this is the slow way of communicating. So essentially the endocrine system and the nervous system do the same thing, but the nervous system is very quick about it and the endocrine system is very slow about it. That being said, the endocrine system, those things linger around, okay? So it's not like, if your hormones, for example, are raging, you've heard that before, they just don't go away simply. But with things in the nervous system, they do. They're easier and quicker to regulate that homeostasis, okay? So the peripheral nervous system, remember, this is the more, not complicated, but complicated in terms of the diagram that you have to label, is the sensory and motor nerves that connect the brain and the spinal cord to the rest of the body. The peripheral nervous system includes the somatic and autonomic nervous system. And basically that's how all those neurons translate those neurotransmitters through our body, okay? So if you look at the somatic nervous system, the division of the nervous system that controls your body and skeletal muscles. These are the things that happen, voluntary in the somatic nervous system. So voluntary movements, part of the overall nervous system, and then, part of the peripheral nervous system. The autonomic, which I actually call automatic because it helps me remember it, is the part of the peripheral nervous system that controls the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So remember, the sympathetic nervous system, if you look in that chart in my 2.1 lecture, it makes your heart beat quick. The parasympathetic is going to slow your heartbeat down. Sympathetic is going to make your eyes dilate, for example. Parasympathetic will, make them go back to normal. So those are the things that happen automatically. So for example, if you get scared, okay, something in your body is going to happen to rev you up, get you excited, your sympathetic nervous system. But then you need to calm back down to go back to your homeostasis, that balance. Remember, these happen quickly because things are traveling through those neurons, through neurotransmitters. So that's all within the nervous system. Okay, now endocrine system. This again, I already kind of mentioned a few things. This is the place where we secrete our hormones. What the crash course actually explains is, this is somebody who's going to mail a letter, put a stamp on it, wait for it to receive it. Someone might not check the mail right away, so they're going to linger around. And the nervous system is more like a text message. You get it right away. So that's the endocrine system. So they secrete hormones through your blood. So remember, nervous system is doing it through neurons, neurotransmitters. The endocrine system is doing all of the same things, but they're just doing it through your bloodstream through hormones. So chemical messengers, just like neurotransmitters, but they work very differently. A hormone, okay, so what is a hormone? It's like a neurotransmitter, but hormones are going through your bloodstream. They produce by the endocrine glands, they circulate in the blood, so they're going to regulate your mood, your appetite, your pleasure, your anger, your growth hormones, all sorts of different things, what your hormone does. So compare these two, neurons transmitting those signals through neurotransmitters. Last is the pituitary gland. This is your master gland. This is like the main gland, the one that kind of controls all others. It's the puppet master. It's under the influence of the hypothalamus. Okay, so remember, hypothalamus is in your brain. The pituitary gland regulates growth and controls all the endocrine glands. So it's the master puppet of information. Okay.